What is going on, Knicks fans? Welcome back to Knicks Media. My name is Richie, and we're live on a Tuesday, the day after the New York Knicks completely obliterated and made a statement to the NBA world of what they did to the Denver Nuggets last night, scoring 145 points, seeing a career high from OG Anunoby with 40, seeing a career high with Jalen Brunson with 17 assists, a team high 45 dimes. Oh, by the way, Karl-Anthony had a 30-point double-double in this game as well. The list goes on and on and on. In this live show, I want to open up a discussion with you guys. Do the New York Knicks have three all-stars on their team? Because I think you can make the case for it right now. I absolutely do. Jalen Brunson is an all-star. We know that. Karl-Anthony Towns playing like a all-star, not just to be an Eastern Conference center at the all-star game, but a starting center. Because somebody in the chat enlightened me. Who's a better starting center right now in the Eastern Conference? Nobody. It should be Karl-Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson is just getting started in terms of his all-star level performance. We know that Brunson started the season a little bit slow, but he's getting back on track to the dominant ways that we expect from him. And not to mention, we got depth. It's not just those three. Mikal Bridges, obviously he's not on the same level as the other guys. He's still impacting this team in a winning way. Josh Hart having a career season. Deuce McBride's getting healthy. The Knicks are just getting started. We're on a roll. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this live show and being the proud sportsbook sponsor of Knicks Media all season long. Make sure you guys check them out. As always, big love to them. And shout out to everybody tuning in. We got Otis Rivers in the chat. What's up, man? The Knicks have what it takes to do something special, which is why I had to go live today with you all. So don't forget to do me a favor, folks, by simply smashing the like button on your way into the show right now. The New York Knicks are sitting here as the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference. All right, that's very important. The Orlando Magic, they are ahead of the Knicks on a 3-game winning streak. They're 12-7. The Knicks losing to the Jazz kind of hurt. I really wanted to go on a winning streak right now, but hey, you live to, go on a winning streak now. Let's win tomorrow night against Dallas. And you look at the Eastern Conference, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers 17-1, Celtics 15-3, Magic 12-7, and then the Knicks are right there at 10-7. So I feel like right now, if you look at what this Knicks team is doing, they are just getting used to each other. And this is the reason why what we saw last night, chat, what we saw last night was everything click. Not being dependent on ISO ball, moving the ball, every teammate is getting in rhythm, right? There's no selfishness on this offense. Everybody's hitting their open shots. They're playing fast. They're playing in transition. They're capitalizing on turnovers. They're just feeding off of each other. They're developing chemistry before our very eyes. And I think last night's game could be, and not to mention the Phoenix Suns game was another one where we saw Jalen Brunson completely light it up. I mean, the Knicks are slowly getting chemistry, and it's a joy to watch because I think every Knicks fan knows what this team is all about. Now, there is a specific player that deserves to be highlighted more than anybody on the Knicks, in my opinion. I mean, listen, there's a lot of people to highlight. A lot of people, but I want to focus in on OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby got paid a lot of money from the Knicks this season. And some people were questioning whether that was a good or bad deal for OG Anunoby because he hasn't really, stayed healthy. There were some concerns, blah, blah, blah. Oh, my goodness. We all knew as Knicks fans that when OG played for the Knicks when he was healthy last season, they were unbeatable. What was their record? 24-3 last year with a healthy OG. He was the X factor. And I made videos in the offseason reminding everybody that OG Anunoby having a full offseason with the Knicks, rehab, full training camp with the Knicks, getting comfortable in preseason. Like, OG is a different animal, and he is a reason why this Knicks team is so dangerous, all right? That 40-point game, you see the highlights on your screen right now. He is a 3-level scorer. He can knock down the open 3-point shot. He can hit contested mid-range shots. He can attack the rim. He can do post-hook fadeaways. He can do everything. I mean, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but does he not look like a spitting image of Kawhi Leonard? This is what Kawhi Leonard looked like in his prime. Elite on defense, long, lengthy, athletic, dunking on people, hitting mid-range shots. Am I the only one that sees it? Not to mention OG Anunoby was on the same team with Kawhi Leonard when they won the whole thing in Toronto. OG was teammates with Kawhi. I'm seeing our own version of Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, he's a different player than Kawhi. Not exactly the same. But you talk about impact. This is what winners do. He is a winner, man. And you can just tell he plays with energy, plays with effort. And I think that he is one of the better wings in the entire NBA. Name a better wing in the NBA right now that's doing it both ways. Right? You got the wings that are lighting it up offensively, but now that OG is leveling up his game on the offensive side of the floor, I mean, that's back-to-back games of 27-plus points. All right? He had 27 against the Jazz, 40 points against the Nuggets. All right? And then back against the back-to-back games against Brooklyn, 25 points, 24 points. He's shooting very efficiently from downtown. I mean, his numbers are just off the charts. Off the charts. For the season, he's averaging 19 points per game, 52% percentage from the field, 42% from downtown, 1.5 steals per game. I mean, this man is doing everything he needs to do. I feel like I don't want to get ahead of myself, but do you guys think that OG is going to finish the season averaging over 20 a game? Because with this newfound confidence offensively, we know that Cat and Brunson are going to average 25 potentially a game. Are we going to have 3 20-point scorers this season? I mean, he's at 19.1 points right now, and he's just getting started, right? So that's interesting. So OG Anunoby is that guy. Now, I want to transition to Karl-Anthony Towns. Knicks fans, he is blowing away, and let's be honest with ourselves here. Karl-Anthony Towns is blowing away every single Knicks fan's expectations from him. When we traded for him, did we think he was going to be the best version of himself? Because that's what he's doing right now, folks. Do you guys realize that Karl-Anthony Towns is putting up career numbers with the Knicks? We all know that he was a dominant force with Minnesota. Multi-time All-Star. He can space the floor. He can do all these things. But I don't think any Knicks fan thought he was going to come to the Knicks and do this. He's putting up 26.3 points per game on the craziest splits you'll see. 55% from the field. And then, listen to this, 47% from three. 47 on a high volume as well. 12.6 rebounds, a steal a game, 3 assists, which is important at that spot. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns, what a trade from Leon Rose. That came out of nowhere, bro. We were getting ready for the season with the Villanova boys, and then Leon Rose is like, watch this. Bang. Karl-Anthony Towns is a Knick. Dante DiVincenzo is a shell of himself in Minnesota. We all love Dante, but they may even trade him in Minnesota. Julius Randle, I mean, he's a good player, but what is he doing in Minnesota? Very quiet over there, I'll tell you that much. This trade, it changes everything for not only this season, but for the future of this franchise. Because we have Cat locked up in his prime for 4 years. Let that sink in, folks. What Leon Rose wanted to do is establish a long-term identity and a core of players that can be here for the long haul. That we don't go into the offseason every year trying to add new pieces. I think we got the core. The starting 5 is under contract for the next 2 years minimum. Cat's locked up 4 years. OG's locked up 4 years. Brunson's 4 years. Bridges is 2 years. Hart, I believe, is 2 years as well. So we have this starting 5 together. Deuce McBride. I mean, this Knicks team is only going to get better and better with time. And we're seeing the early stages of the development. We're seeing the early stages of the chemistry. I'm not going to say that this year is going to be a failure, but I will say I feel like we are going to see the full potential of this basketball team in 2 or 3 seasons. Not to say they can't do something special this year. I'm not ruling that out. All I'm saying is look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The Cavaliers have had the same exact core of guys for 2 years. They're in year 3, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, with Donovan Mitchell, Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. They have playoff experience together, and it's the same core of guys for Cleveland. And now all of a sudden, everything's clicking for them. 17-1. I feel like with a few seasons under the belt of Cat and Brunson together and all these teams together, that's when we're going to see the full potential. Again, not to say we can't go on a deep playoff run right now and we can't win the whole thing this season. That's not my point. I think this team, this is the kind of feel it out year. And I don't want to scare Knicks fans away, but that's what I'm getting right now. I think at least from this season and not projecting into the future too much, this season is going to be, the first half is going to be like figuring each other out. We're going to go on some winning streaks. We may hit some adversity like we have already this season. And then by the midway point of the year, mark my words, if we're healthy, by March, the Knicks are going to go on a crazy run. We're going to get hot at the right time, and we're going to separate ourselves in the East. It's happened the last 2 years with Tibbs. Okay? This team plays their best brand of basketball when they need to the most. Let's also not forget that the Knicks, I believe, were under 500 through 20 games last year. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but we were hitting adversity early last season. But then the Knicks traded for OG Anunoby and everything changed. Right? Everything changed. And then we went on that late run. Jalen Brunson turned into an absolute MVP in March and April, and then we went all the way to the second seed. So now that we don't have to make some crazy moves, like we went through a full year, and there's 3 major trades. A lot of transition. Leon Rose, these last few years, has been all about transactions and building the core. The core is now built, folks. That's what I'm trying to get through Knicks fans' brains. All the work Leon Rose has done, all those draft picks that he was hoarding, they're gone. We got the core. Not to say he's not going to make some more roster moves and bring some pieces in, maybe at the deadline. I'm not ruling that out. But when it comes to the main core guys of the max contracts, this is them. We're going to see Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart. That's the New York Knicks for the next 2 to 3 seasons that we could be excited about. Right there. Deuce McBride's locked up long-term as well. We have a whole young rookie class coming in. That's exciting with Ariel Hook-Porty. Kevin McCullough Jr. still hasn't played yet. We don't know what he's going to bring. Right? Macomb Daddy and Tyler Kolek. We have some youth to be excited about as well. It's not just veterans. And then, of course, we're still waiting for the return of Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa. Jericho Sims is playing a little bit better off the bench. Cameron Payne got to show love to. But I love what the Knicks are doing right now. I'm really impressed. And I just would not get too caught up in these losses that they're suffering, like the Utah Jazz loss, for example, on Saturday. So now they got a big stretch of games coming up that they can kind of separate themselves in the East, and hopefully they can find some momentum, man. So, Chad, if you're enjoying the show right now on Knicks Media, do me a favor by simply smashing the like button if you've enjoyed. I wanted to make this little live video to kind of break down what we're seeing from the New York Knicks this season, because it is nothing short of special, all right? The statement they made last night to the NBA world, when everything clicks, we are a dangerous basketball team, man. An absolute dangerous basketball team. I can promise you that. Now, the NBA Cup is well underway. All right, I believe that we have some NBA Cup games coming up, right? We're 2-0. Do you have the New York Knicks winning the in-season tournament? Let's go check out the odds on BetUS to see what the Knicks odds are. They're at plus 550 to win the NBA Cup, all right? That seems to be one of the most favorable odds on here. I mean, you got the Warriors at plus 600. The Celtics are at plus 450. So the Knicks are the second favorite to win the in-season tournament. So if you guys want to check out BetUS, don't forget to use the code YouTube150 when you make your account, and you get a 150% bonus on your first deposit, and then you receive a 125% on your next 2. That's up to $2,000. Always big shout out to BetUS. So I know that some people don't really care about the NBA Cup, but it would be cool to see this Knicks team hoist some type of trophy, right? Let's go. Bowen says, bold take, Bridges will be the 4th All-Star by February. I would love that. And that's something crazy about this team. We haven't even seen Mikal Bridges get clicking yet. OG's clicking, Brunson's clicking, Cat's clicking, and that's the luxury of having so many weapons. If one guy's off, we have all these other guys that can carry the load, and we'll be good to go. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Well, Chad, I wanted to go live for like 15 minutes to share my thoughts of the Knicks being on a roll. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Much love to everybody in the chat. Don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new here to Knicks Media. Cannot wait to continuously show you guys Knicks content all season long. Gaza Zone's in the chat. Blessing family. Fully Knicks. Need this type of game every night. Absolutely. Shout out to Otis in the chat. Dap in the chat. All the people that tune into the live show and are active in the chat. Salute to you guys. Love you all. I'm going to get out of here. See you guys soon. Shout out to BetUS again for sponsoring the show. Let's go, Knicks. See you guys later. Peace out.